I have something that I just want to go through real quickly because we all just got paid founders pay. And a lot of times people don't know. So if you have teammates that need to know this, we have a lot of new founders, and they just don't know where to find their money. And we want them to know and make sure that they know where that money is to be found. So if you have teammates that are not on the line tonight, guys, want you to share this information with them, and then we're going to get right in and let Coach Dan do his thing. So I'm going to share my screen for a minute, Willie.
Okay.
And for those of you that don't know, I am Phyllis Nash. I am the Chief Sales Officer and one of the 4 co-founders. And you are why Wakanda tonight. We do a special little training, a 30-minute training right before. We usually have myself, Minister Mooney, as you see, he's right here, and Coach Dan. And so I'm going to do this and get out of the way so that you let Coach Dan take off where he left off. Hold on. So if you were to go to your site, if you were to go to your site and you would want to sign in, of course, you put your email address there and you put your password, and then you, of course, put the CAPTCHA in. And you know, I'm talking elementary, but there might be some brand new people on the phone. I mean, on the line. So I want to make sure I'm dealing with them. And then you want to go and you want to click on earnings. And along with earnings, now you want to go to history. Well, when you're dealing with founders pay, it's paid out every quarter. And so that would be making it be paid out on the weekly check. So you're going to be right here, weekly, and you're going to go find the last week in that quarter to see where your money is, okay? So in this case, the last week was the week of the 25th through the 31st. And you want to click on view right there. And so as you go and it takes you to the next page, you want to look under adjustments because the founders pay falls under adjustments. Again, it's going to be shown in the weekly, not the monthly. So you have to go to the weekly. And remember, you get that check around the 15th, between the 22nd and the 24th of the following month. So although you're looking for your numbers under the end of the quarter, because that's where it's made, you're going to get that check about the 22nd through the 24th of the next month. So in this case, you got that check in January. So you click on adjustments, and now right here, you see your founders pay. In this case, this person got, congratulations, your founders payout for the 4th quarter of 2021 is $149.84. And then they go on to tell you the value of the shares was as follows. So the value of the shares in October was $8.56 for the share in October. In November, that share was not $7.10. And in December, it was lower. It was $3.07. And you qualified, this particular person qualified for 8 shares in October. Remember, if you have more than one share, more than one package, you might have another share. If you are a sapphire, a ruby, a emerald, or diamond, you get even more shares. So it does pay, guys, for you to rank up because you increase the shares that you get for your founders pay. And so for this quarter, this person got $149.84. Now, you might think, oh, that's not a lot. But I think that if you spent, and in this case, this person, it was an existing founding members. So they spent $700 and something or $800 or so on their founders pack. I'm going to tell you, if you put $800 in the bank, you will not get a return of $149 for the year, let alone the quarter. So when I look at that, you can spend this kind of money So early in the game, when you get the package, then be able to sell that package or be able to use that package for your own, taking your own product and turn around and still make money for a lifetime, for a lifetime. And this is just 1/4. So guys, the sky is not the limit in this case. We are just only beginning. And so I wanted to be able to share this with you so that you will know how to find your founder's pay, and you will know how to share and tell other people as you bring them on board how to find their founder's pay, okay? And well, they are not gonna be able to do it. We are having only one more, and those people will be paying a increased price. So again, you're able to look, you can tell your teammates, your downline, how to find their founder's pay. So I'm gonna go back to the screen and bring up, bring up our speaker for the night. And I'm sure he's on. There he is. And let me just put this up for you, because this morning's call, I just want you to know, Coach Dan, I got so many texts about the call. That call was on fire. I mean, everything about that call just played into place. The young lady that left me the quote had no idea that was a quote that she left that she wanted to be read on Black History Month. I shared that quote. You took it from there. I don't even know if that was the call that you had set up to do this morning. But boy, you went to work this morning, and everybody was touched by that call. Everybody probably thought about it. It was a day, today is a day that you say, let's quit, let's don't do nothing. But you got some people on fire. So without further ado, I would like to bring on our VP of Training and Development, none other than our own Coach Dan. You want to take it away?
I got you. Good evening, everybody. Listen, man, I feel like I haven't seen Mr. Diamond Mooney in the building for a long time. How you doing, my brother?
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. How's everything with you?
Man, empowered. I am empowered. I'm getting all that belly down, the dimple out the thighs, the junk out the trunk, the jelly out the belly. And so it's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's a good journey. And I'm going to tell y'all something. I wanted to quit. I wanted to get me some bacon, some sausage. I wanted to get me some bunch of stuff that I wasn't supposed to have. But the truth is, y'all, we cannot quit. And that's really what we were talking about this morning. You know that in the morning I take 15 minutes and I share on Wednesday mornings, and then I come back because I don't know who was on and who was not, and I don't want to assume that everybody was on this morning. So I expound on what we discussed in our 15-minute call and our 30-minute training, because I believe that there should be synergy in training. What that simply means is, if Dr. Diamond Mooney, if you're on at Wednesday morning at 8, and some of your team members are on at 8, but then you got a bunch of team members that can't be on at 8, but they could come back at 6:30. I don't want them to miss what was supposed to happen at 8 or what happened at 8. Does that make sense? So everybody is getting the same message and they're being charged at the same time. Skinny Minnie is in the house, better known as, she's always known as Skinny Minnie, but she's better known as the Mrs. Diamond Mooney. All right. Then you got Tammy Boston. Good to see you guys. So tonight, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap into where we were this morning, because there was someone I was speaking to, and they said that they were looking at the timeline. And on the timeline, I was speaking to somebody on my branding team, and they said they looked at several timelines today where the individuals that owned that timeline had made a decision to commit suicide. And the truth is, you guys, we're living in a world of so much great uncertainty. We're living in a world where people are disheartened. We're living in a world where people are discouraged. People are in despair. and you have us here that is dealing with life. And as we're dealing with life, we're also seeking to build and continue life. And sometimes there's this thing that I'm calling right now called life fatigue. Life fatigue. What is that? It is when you become fatigued with the everyday dealings of life, and you say to yourself in many aspects of life, I want to quit. The truth of the matter is, many that are listening now, and those that were listening this morning, and those that are connected to those that are not here today, the truth of the matter is, all of us, listen to the key word in what I said, all, the second key word, us. All us's have had a moment at some point where we thought about quitting. It's the inevitable. Whenever you're going after something that is beyond you, whenever you're going after something that's bigger than you, whenever you're going after something that you've never touched before, the truth is somewhere in the process you experience pain. And the pain sometimes becomes so painful that you desire to quit. And so today, all day today, our message and our training and our teaching is centered around don't quit. Now, one of the things I understand as a preacher, and Minister Diamond Mooney, no, I said minister instead of Mr. Diamond Mooney. I tapped into the minister part of the diamond of the Mooney. One of the things, Minister Diamond Mooney, we've seen it on shirts. It talks about push, and it used push as an acronym. And that acronym says pretty much pray, right, until something happens. How many of you ever heard that acronym before? Pray until something happens. That's what push means. What it's saying is exert energy in prayer. What it's saying is make a commitment to prayer until you see something happen. Well, I'm going to swap out the P in push from prayer, which we should always do, and I'm going to say press. I'm going to say press until something happens. Don't stop pushing. In other words, don't stop pressing, because literally at the point you say, I quit, you give up on your push and you negate your press. So if that is the case, how do I then transcend from a mindset that says, I no longer want to do this? That's the flat belly lifestyle. That's building a business. That's talking to customers. That's trying to recruit people. Whatever your quit is, how do you transcend a mindset that says, I no longer want to do this, to yes, I am going to continue? I believe that it's all in the press. Y'all put in the chat line, it's all in the press. Capital P, R-E-S-S. It's all in the press. I don't see y'all moving. I want to make certain y'all still with me. It's all in the press. Thank you, Bernadine. Thank you, Dolores. Thank you so much. It's all in the press. Who else we got? Because yes, thank you. Thank you, Athene. It's all in the press. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you, Tammy. It's all in the press. It's all in the press. It's all in the press. Now, we're going to utilize press as an acronym. Thank you, Tamika. Thank you, Phyllis. It's all in the press. Thank you, Fontaine. It's all, thank you, Mr. Diamond Mooney. It's all in the press. We're going to utilize press as an acronym. And it's very, very critical that you understand it and break it down this way. The P in press is practice. The P in press is practice. You will never be able to reach peak performance in doing anything without sufficient practice. Let me say that once again. You'll never be able to reach peak performance without, watch this, in anything without sufficient practice. What is the practice? Practice is the rehearse, the consistent development of a particular skill set. It is the consistency of doing something with the idea that what you are doing will ultimately cause you to become better. So the more you practice, the better you'll be. The challenge with practice, though, is that if you practice wrong, then you'll never reach peak performance. You will always be inefficient in your performance. How do you practice wrong? You practice wrong by developing habits habitually that are not in alignment with the standards that is associated with success that will allow you to have your peak performance. In other words, you must understand that success has principles. There's principles that are attached to success. And if you practice wrong, practice will no longer make perfect, but it's perfect practice that will make perfect. Are y'all understanding it? And so we got to practice. And what are we practicing? We got to practice our presentation. That means that it got to get to the point where you as leaders, and I believe this Wednesday night call is a call for leaders. It got to get to the point where you're practicing, you're no longer being comfortable depending on somebody else to do the presentation for you. I'm going to practice this presentation until I master it. I'm going to practice understanding what CBD is and all of the things that it can do until I master it. I'm going to practice how to work the system in our sales training academy. I'm going to practice. Are y'all understanding? You have to practice, and you have to practice properly. Because if you don't practice properly, then you're not going to produce optimally. And so in order to practice properly, you got to practice the system that has already been laid out for you as it pertains to success. One thing about practice is the place where you get the liberty to make the mistake. Come on. See, I hadn't said this morning. The reason you have practice before the game, because the practice is the time where you have a moment and an opportunity to perfect your craft, to make certain you understand. Watch, and I'm gonna go to this next one. So I'm gonna go to the R. So after you practice, then, because I was going ahead of myself, then you repeat. You repeat what you practice. Now, the process of repetition creates a certain level of consistency. And you remember what I've always taught you: if you do the right thing long enough, consistent enough, it will eventually be enough. So now you practice, but you got to keep repeating. You cannot practice one time. You cannot practice 2 times. You cannot practice just 3 times. No, you got to practice until you see yourself improved, which means practice must be on repetition. And as you are practicing, you go to the E, the next E. The P is practice. The E, the R is repetition or repeat. The E is evaluation. Now, this is very, very important because you want to make certain that the practice that you are repeating is actually positioning you to progress to the purpose by which you were practicing in the first place. And the only way that you'll be able to do that is if you are properly evaluating the practice. You want to evaluate to assure that there are no adjustments that need to be made. You want to evaluate to assure that what you're doing is putting you on the trajectory to where you're going. Evaluation is key. You got to evaluate to be able to understand that you're on the right path. You got to be willing to make those adjustments. That's what practice is for. So in practice, if you're doing something and it's not really producing, it's through the context of evaluation whereby you're able now to make the adjustment. You can make the necessary adjustments. Wait a minute. I'm practicing making these calls, but there's something that I'm saying that's different or that's not getting the kind of result. So I got to adjust how I properly position my proposition in order that I can get the person that I'm propositioning to get in the position that I want them to be positioned in. Does that make sense? I thought it did. So at the end of the day, you guys, as you are practicing, y'all getting me hot in here, it's getting warm. At the end of the day, As you are practicing, you must evaluate. And as you evaluate, you must be willing to make the necessary adjustments. See what's working, see what's not working. And then be able to say, hey, coach, I did this, but this is not working the way that I thought you said it should work. What should I do different? And then I will evaluate. I'll give another example. I told you guys this morning that tonight, actually in about 2 hours, my oldest son is going to be singing the national anthem for the Brooklyn Nets and versus the Sacramento Kings game. He's not a part of a choir or anything like that. He's going to have the microphone in his hand, standing in center court in front of about 20,000 people, millions across the world, singing the national anthem. So earlier today, he called back and said, Dad, I'm nervous. I told you guys at one point he was ready to quit. And I told him that his last name was Johnson and he's Dan Johnson's son. And we don't understand the ideology of quitting. It's not in our bloodline. Quitting is not in our bloodline. We don't quit. Period. We see it through. We rise to the challenge. And so when I shared that with him, I said, what you got to do is you got to practice. So he went on and he was practicing, but it wasn't coming out the way he wanted it to. So now he called me for evaluation. We made some adjustments. And then today I connected with him with one of my guys who is a vocal coach. And I said, I need you to call my son and I need you to listen and assess and evaluate what he's been practicing to see if there are not any more adjustments that need to be made before he actually performs. Are y'all catching this? And so I listen, anything Coach Dan tell you, I put in practice. I'm not telling you nothing. I'm telling you stuff that I do. I'm telling you stuff that work, right? So the vocal coach called him, and guess what? He evaluated him. I wasn't on the phone. I called the vocal coach back. I said, how bad was it? And he said, well, it wasn't that bad, but he definitely needs some work. And so we made a few adjustments. He was starting out too high, so he wasn't going to be able to finish at peak. I told him he had to drop. Are y'all seeing what I'm saying? Now, after the evaluations have been made, the next S in press is show results. So it's not that you will go back to practice and do something different than what you have established you needed to do through evaluation. You got to show results. And as you show results in practice, you'll also show results in performance. So tonight, my expectation is that he's going to show results tonight in performance based on how he practiced, how he repeated it, how he evaluated, how he made the adjustments, and how he showed results. Are y'all seeing this? You don't wait to game day to practice. That's not going to work, because in practice comes preparation. And as we all know, piss poor preparation leads to piss poor performance. So here it is. So now we show results. And after we show results, the next S in press, we start all over again. Because you want to know why? You want to know why you start all over again? Because you saw results. Are y'all getting this? You know why we've gone from flat belly 1.0 to flat belly 2.0 to now flat belly 3.0? Why? Because guess what, y'all? We're showing results. You know why it's important for Phyllis to go to the back to show you your money that you made thus far as a result of the Founders Pack, to see how much money your shares is producing? You want to know why? Because it shows results. And when you show results, guess what you want to do? You want to start all over again so you can see more results. I'm flat belly 3.0, as my assistant would say, drinking nasty juice, eating nasty stuff. She told me my past gas was going to stink because I got all them vegetables in me. I don't care. Why? Because I'm seeing the results. And that's how you not quit. You press. You practice. You repeat what you practice. You evaluate. You make the necessary adjustments. You practice again. You show the results. And then you start all over again. Listen, we got 4 minutes. I'll open it up for any comments. Y'all's feet, give me some feedback, some comments in the chat section or whatever the case is. I want to know how you're feeling about what you heard tonight. Is there something I can make clear to you? Y'all talk back to me. We got about 4 minutes before we transition. Awesome. Love it. Thank you, Minister Diamond Moon. Any other comments, questions about our presentation on tonight? Thank you, Bernadine. Good stuff, good stuff. Thank you, Anna. Keep pressing, Phyllis. Quitting is not an option. Absolutely. Absolutely. Whenever you feel the pressure to quit, turn up the press. Thank you, Fontaine. Y'all remember, somebody put that in the chat for me. Got 1 flat belly ordering tomorrow. Good job. 2 more on Saturday. Good job. Good job. Good job. Congratulations. Whenever you feel, thank you, Sylvia, whenever you feel the pressure to quit, turn up the press. Turn up the press. Whenever you feel the pressure to quit, turn up the press. Minister Diamond Mooney, you got any closing thoughts for us as we get ready to transition?
Only one thing that comes to mind is that old Rocky movie when he was fighting against Tommy, you know, the young guy that he trained and motivated at the very end. When Tommy had beat him up and knocked him down, he said, "Ding, ding, ding, Tommy, wait a minute. I didn't hear no bell," which means it ain't over. That's all I have to say.
You know what? Since you went boxing, as you were saying it, I saw an illustration. I just saw it. I just saw it. You know what I just saw?
What did you just say?
I just saw it. I saw 2 guys in a ring fighting. I saw them boxing, and they was in the 12th round. And there was a gentleman that was he was losing on the scorecards, but he kept fighting and he kept swinging. And all of a sudden, he wound up connecting the dot, his fist to the right spot on that chin, and he knocked him out. Some of you may have been losing. Oh, I feel that thing right now.
All right now.
I had 12 rounds, but less than 60 seconds left in the final round. You took 1 more swing because you kept up the press in the middle of the pressure, and you landed a 12th round knockout. All I want y'all to do is just keep on swinging, because you never know when you're going to land that 12th round knockout. That's it. That's all. I love y'all. I love y'all for real. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to this Wednesday night training. Again, when you feel the pressure, turn up the press. But quitting is not an option. God bless and prosper.